Okay, so let's talk about prompt guide for ChatGPT. So I have been using ChatGPT, I think, from the past 5 to 10 months, and it's been very useful. But like, I have seen myself improved a lot when I'm actually using it from month one to month two to month three. So let's try to give you a brief thing on how to actually use prompts, and it will be a basic prompt guide for you guys. So let's without further ado, let's go ahead. So for introduction, you have to clarify the purpose, like what instruction you want to give, okay, and then what is the role of the directive, what directive you want to give, what is the role of it, and then you have to highlight the explicit content. I'll tell you after this what I am actually talking about. Let's talk about this thing. You have to give a direct communication. By direct communication, what I meant is you don't need to use a word like please describe or can you do it for me and something like that. Just use a very direct language, like simple, I would like to do this, like simple. Don't say can you do it for me and all those things. I would like you to do, that's it. Okay. And also you'll need to use a affirmative language like do. Don't use like same thing. Do not use don't. Okay, so you should promote the action with a clear instruction. What not to do is not a thing for him. Why should he go into it or it go into it? You should only use like what you need it to do. Okay. So next is you can use a prompt to gain deeper understanding. Like you can write a prompt for him or it to get you a proper explanation on a very complex topic, and it can actually help you to like explain it or understand it properly. So one of the basic example is you can ask ChatGPT to explain it like 5-year-old, 10-year-old, or to a person who don't know about this concept and all those things. Or suppose you are a mechanical engineer and you want to learn some concept, you can just relate it to like kind of a piston, like explain this to me as kind of how engine would work, and explain some complex topic to me like how it will relate to an engine thing, so you will be able to understand it. Then you can also actually write a prompt to simplify the concepts. Like you can explain the concept in simpler term. You can ask like the way I told you that you can use analogies for better understanding. Okay, and keep explanations age appropriate the way I told you about. Now implementing example driven prompts. So you can always use show not tell approach. You can provide, it can provide you examples for clarity, and it can enhance the learning with case studies. So that is one of the good thing, you can actually write the prompts to do it like that. So anything you want to learn, what you have to do, you have to tell it, not him, to show not tell, and you can tell it to give you examples and all those things. Now formatting your prompt. So you should start with clear instructions. Okay, you should follow with an example. Like if suppose you want to do something and if you have done a little part of that code or anything, you can put that after the prompt so that it can understand what you are trying to do. Now you should actually incorporate phrases like what is the prompt's task, or what is ChatGPT or any generative AI task, like your task is, and you must, like those things. You should not use penalization language. Like sometimes I get very angry and I don't use good languages when I'm angry. So that is one thing which happens. Now you should actually talk to it like a human like interaction. Like you can phrase questions conversationally, like okay, let's talk about this, like those, and but you should mimic a natural human inquiry. Okay, and encourage a step by step guidance. So what happens if you do a step by step guidance, it will actually give you step 1, and then it also thinks about how step 2 comes. So it might give you a proper and clear explanation. Then you have to use, to avoid biases, like you should ensure that the responses are unbiased. Okay, don't use stereotypes in prompt. What do I mean by it? Like don't give it a kind of a hint that you are trying to go to this direction. If you're trying to go to a certain direction, and so the AI will understand, and it will give you those kind of things. Or else you can actually give it a proper thing that I don't want you to favor one thing. You should take care of every scenario and then give me a proper answer. Now coming to precision in inquiry, you can, after you get a response, you can ask specific questions for detail. You can request for information progressively, and you can clarify with the follow-up question. So don't think that this is the right answer, which I used to do when I was using it for the first time, and then realizing, okay. But yeah, it's good. Like if you are learning something, you are like, first you will copy paste, but at a later point of time, before even copy pasting, you will be able to understand that what I asked and what it gave, and will it work or not, or will it be a proper example or not. Then you can actually learn through the interaction. So you can actually use a teach model like teach me prompts and test understanding interactively, and you can use quizzes for assessments. Now you can also guide the LLMs how you can use rules for consistent responses. You can employ delimiters like comma, full stop, colon, quotes, and all those things. And you can repeat it for emphasis and clarity. Like I repeat, you have to do like this, something like that. And last is like we have already talked about, you have to give a very, very important on clarity. At night, if you are here at night, 2 p.m. or 2 a.m., if you are like fighting with a AI, something is seriously wrong with you. Please understand, it's not a human. It cannot give you a answer, like it cannot scold you back. It can only do what you have asked it for, as per its knowledge, not his. Okay, so thank you very much, and let's meet again.